Photoshop tutorial, we're going to use everything we've learned in the past couple tutorials to make a basic site design. So what we're going to start with, this is going to be an overview. So what we're going to start is we're going to go to File, New, or you can press Control N to open up a new project. I'm going to do 1000 by 1000, height and width, resolution 300, red, green, blue color. As you see, we've got our basic background. And we're going to press Shift Control N to create a new layer. We're going to use our rectangular marquee tool. And what we're going to do is we're going to go from this edge, left click, drag down, and stretch across. And we're going to use our photo bucket tool, or paint bucket tool, excuse me, and we're going to paint it blue. Control D for deselect. As you see, we've got our basic header. And what we're going to do today is basically make a very basic web design using what you've learned in Photoshop. So, Shift Control N for another layer. We're going to create a menu. So what we do, use our marquee tool again, left click, drag down and stretch across. We're going to give it a color. We'll go ahead and go shapes and go back down to shape 1, and we're going to drag them all into a folder. We're going to name it menu. And basically, after you get done building the base, you can go in and add all the effects that you want, little bevel or gradient if you want a gradient. That was a color overlay. Say you want a gradient, so we'll put a red and black gradient. A red one go into black. As you see, there it is. Back to editing. We have red text, so we need to edit. So we'll go up here, cursor, and we'll put white text in there. That way it's visible. Get done doing all of this, changing them all to white, I'm going to put a stroke on the text themselves to make them stand out a little bit more. So what we do is go into the effects and put a stroke on them. And as you see, there's the stroke, and just rinse and repeat. Final one on home, and there you have it. There's a basic menu bar. Now for the header, we'll go ahead and we'll change it probably to black, just to make it stand out. And as you see, it looks as if it fades into the top. It's just a neat little layering trick. We're going to move this whole Control Z, put everything back. Forgot to add this layer 2 in there, and then all we got to do is move it down if we want it to go down. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer. Shift Control N, new layer. We're going to create a body for this. And I know you're probably thinking, why do you need a body if you got a white background? You don't really, but it's just an extra step just in case, if you want to remove it and see what it looks like without it, or if you want to make it a different color and still have the white background. So I'm going to go ahead and make it a light gray as the background of the Photoshop base is. There we go. Control D for deselect. We're going to put Shift Control N to make yet another layer. This is going to be our footer layer. So we're going to go to our marquee. We're going to sit here and we're going to make a small little footer. We're going to fill it probably with a black, or yeah, we'll do a black just for starters, and then we're going to put a gradient. Put Control D. I'm going to do a gradient inside this layer. Oops, that was the wrong tool, so we'll undo it. The gradient tool is right there. Sorry. As you can see, Photoshop doesn't quite want to participate, so we'll do it the harder way. Alright, there we go. We'll go into gradient, pop a gradient in there, and then we'll change the colors on it. We'll go ahead and do black to red to match the top. Then on our scale, we'll go ahead and up our scale a little bit. That way it's blended better. Then we're going to move it down. I'm sorry about the train noise in the back. We're going to drop it down. And there we go. And now basically, I'm just going to enter some text in here, make another little box on a new layer, Shift Control N. We're going to make this white. And then we're going to make another layer, Shift Control N, for our little side menu. And as I stated, this is just a very basic layout. We're going to put an image right here, so Control D, and we're going to load an image. We're going to file open, load solar image, Control C to copy, then we're going to paste. We're going to move it into this box, and we're going to hit Control T to transform. And we're going to transform it to fit our box. And then we'll put our text in here. We'll have to change it from, well, I'll leave it white text and put a stroke on it. Thank you for viewing this tutorial. Project. And as you see, you can't see anything at the current second, but we're going to put a stroke on it. And there you go. That is our basic web layout. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial product, this refresher on everything that we've learned, and I hope you stay tuned for more tutorials.